I'm still the most excited for, obviously, the multi-pista. I mean, it's just
The dog's back.
It just makes so much sense to take the Enforcer and all of its glory, and then kind of slim it down and just make a ski that, you know, now you can truly use in Ontario, and you can carve super tight. And the fact that it was so successful that they went from a 74 true carver to an 80, which I think is really going to compete, you know, against your Peregrines. I think it's going to compete against your Head Titans or your Redster Qs. Like, it's just so much fun.
I don't think there was a single person that came off that ski after a demo and was
100%
like,
right.
I'm always excited about that dog on that
And
ski
before
there.
the Secret even got out last year, it was the first ski to sell out.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy how fast they went through. So hopefully we won't sell out now, especially since we've got two of them technically with the 874 and the 80.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a tough conversation to figure why do you buy one over the other, right? Like why buy the 74 or the 80? I think they should have probably maybe like widened that curve a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit more. I guess that 80, I do feel like it's a little bit more stable and a little bit more like planted. Like if I'm just cruising, it doesn't feel as twitchy as much as the 74 did.
Yeah, 74, like I said, still rips, still a fan, but I am excited about that 80 this year for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that 7.8 right next to it too, like we're talking apples to apples almost here, and I do love that Q series. That 7.8 is one of my favorite all mountain skis that are out there.
I mean, I'm super gassed about the graphic. I remember when we were out doing the rep show.
Yeah.
I saw that. I don't know. Again, graphics are always just like a personal bias, but I saw that and I was like, wow. Like, I mean, the ski still skis well, but I figured like, you know, a little bit of like cod camo or something like that, and it looked super good. I still love that the Redster and the Q series is really kind of still out there on its own, being like a race-inspired ski. Like it's full camber, right? Yeah. None of the other all-mountain skis really have that much camber. So like just complete if you're a racer but looking for more like versatility, something that can handle a little bit of chop outside of course, you know, that's probably the landing point that I think most people should be on.
Do you like the graphic on the 7.8 or the 9.8 better? Not that we have the 9.8 here, but if you remember what the 9.8
I like the I think the 7.8 might be one of my favorite graphics of the season for sure. Yeah, I don't know why, it just stands out. Like I like that white and black. Like I like this white and black antimatter too. I think it just looks super clean and super fresh.
Really, because I love the graphic on those Salomons right there. That for me, I love something that screams at you.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's like it's a different graphic, but it makes sense for the ski that it is, right? I mean, Salomon has a lot of lines of skis, and the Additk is again, it's more of a playful kind of, you know, make your own way type of carving ski, right? Again, swallowtail, right? Swallowtail is becoming more and more popular. Just giving it a little bit of a softer feel out of the back, even though it's still pretty squared off, I would say. And then, you know, what do you think about blade? I mean, that gave it a lot of pop, I would say.
It did. I would say that when I came out of the turn on the Additk, like it didn't feel super aggressive because it's, you know, it's got the swallowtail and it doesn't hold through the turn like maybe they're a keep would. They're true slalom ski. But it's still super poppy and it's still forgiving too. Like it's a really well balanced ski in my opinion.
It's a cool technology. That suspension blade functioning very similarly to keeping like a mountain bike piston, keeping everything contacted to the ground. You know, a lot of these skis that we're talking about, kind of like on the higher end side of thing, more for your accomplished skier. And in that breath, just kind of taking it down ever so slightly. It's new in the lineup, massive lineup from the Peregrine. But I think this is a bit of a sleeper. This 78 is taking all the top end like ideals and tech from Volkl, but just slimming it down, making it more user-friendly. I think that ski is $1,000. So I mean, not everybody wants to spend $1,200, $1,400 on a Peregrine for all that's built for, but now you get something that's just more accessible to the masses. And I don't think Völkl's like skimped out on anything here. I think it's all properly built.
So it sort of fits in their lineup between Peregrine 70 or MT, I guess Peregrine MT above that, but maybe slightly below Peregrine 72.
I would say like not so much the 72, but slightly below the 80. Right? We still want the all-mountain aspect out of it, whereas Peregrine MT, still a little bit more beginner, I wouldn't say beginner, but like average intermediate carving, easy from edge to edge, whereas this has that wide shovel, so it's going to handle the, you know, from bell to bell as the day ticks on and the snow deteriorates. It's just got that classic Peregrine, hey, I'll go wherever and do whatever I want with it. I mean, it's only 4 millimeters narrower than the 82, and everyone always goes, oh, well, the 82, you can take that to the top of Whistler, have a good time, and ski it all the way to the bottom. Right. And as long as you're not in waist-deep powder, it's going to handle pretty much anything.
Feels like it fills a gap in their lineup really nicely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and, you know, talk about that ski bell-to-bell at Whistler. Mindbender. You know what? I skied it at the end of last year at our industry day.
Yeah.
And I think the takeaway for me is this really big improvement from previous Mindbender, and I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, the evolution of Mindbender is like something to be studied, right? I mean, it came out many years ago and was super popular. And, you know, they had a bunch of different ways you could go with it, with the carbon or the Titanal. And I think they've really, you know, slimmed the SKU count down, but hit the nail on the head to do your narrower widths, your more intermediate friendly skis with the spectral braid, the carbon weave.
Right.
And then the big boys like the 96, the 88, the 101 with their Titanal I-beam. It just really lends to obviously then the next piece of tech, which I too, when I demoed, thought super damp, evolution, bringing in the dark matter, right? I think they obviously have a lot of science behind it in where that placement is, right where most of the ski's edge would be contacting the snow, so really absorbing as much of that vibration to give you a great snow feel, a great confident ride, even when you're getting up to speed. So I'm really excited about Mindbender. I know we're talking about graphics. It's super loud. It's super fun. They're not deviating from what their DNA is, right? K2 is there to be playful, to be fun, not necessarily to get your CSIA level 4 and get your perfect pole plants out there.
Not the perfect turn, but you know what? A brand that tends to chase that perfect turn is Head. And they're all new. You know what we would have last year known as the the V-shaped series is new Discovery, right? And it's a lot of buzz around Discovery this year, and I'm excited about how many different options there are in Discovery this year.
I mean, we've got one here. This is the 86. This is going to be the biggest dog of the group. Again, it's not built to be a hard charging ski. It's supposed to be a leisure ski. It's supposed to be a fun ski. It's supposed to turn on its own. It's going to be for somebody who doesn't necessarily want to be out of breath by the time they get to the bottom of the hill. So it's an easy skiing ski. There's not any excess material that's added that gives it that extra weight. And they're using that auxetic technology, which is all those funky shapes that you see in the tip and tail, to give the ski strength. So they've shed the sidewall, they've added the auxetic to make sure that the ski still feels nice and lively, but at the same time is smooth and can run flat throughout the day.
And the 86 comes with a protector by the looks of it, which is
protector,
great.
Not going anywhere. I think it makes the most sense. I mean, like at the end of the day, if you're aging or you've had some knee issues, this binding should be a no-brainer, right? Now it's been out long enough, you can get some fun colors with it. It's coming kind of more stock on a lot of the Head models. It can always be purchased as an upgrade as the ones that it's not stock on. But again, protector, it's there. It's doing its job.
So of the skis we have here, what's your personal favorite?
I mean, my personal favorite is still the idea of a multipista. It just makes so much sense. I'm sure other brands will do something more like it, but my favorite is multipista I think my favorite for the average skier is going to be that Peregrine 78, and I think maybe one of the sleepers in the carving world will be this antimatter. Great value, good graphics, and really kind of building off of what we already knew and loved from Declivity, just putting it in a more compact turn shape.
Nice. Cool.